The 20s is a roaring, boring, and soaring decade of your life. It can easily swing from a defining to a declining decade or vice versa, depending on the kind of company and guidance you get. And who can be a better companion and guide than books? There's no age limit for books, but some can be pivotal if read before you hit 30. This video will tell you what books are the best for your 20s. An existential crisis in the 20s is a real thing, folks. You're no longer a school-going kid, and the world expects you to start acting like an adult the day you turn 21. Each one of us goes through or has gone through a different experience while figuring things out. But some hurdles are universal, like focusing on career paths, personal discovery, and building romantic relationships. Now, you can take a deep breath because it's normal to not have a normal bump-free decade. However, these transitioning years into adulthood can be made less harsh and depressing if you take lessons from books that can steer you in the right direction. I was lucky enough to have them help me figure out what I am as a person and want to be in the future and how to tackle relationships that matter the most. It'll do the same for you once you read them thoroughly. I picked 10 books that will shape you to be the best version of yourself. These include both fiction and nonfiction to meet your diverse tastes. Too much talking already. Let's start knowing about the best books to read in your 20s. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and share. If you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to never miss an update. Links to the books are given in the description below. Number 10. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F*** by Mark Manson. He is a blogger and entrepreneur. Mark Manson also worked as a dating coach for a couple of years. He has been helping people tackle their emotional and relationship troubles for nearly 2 decades. The title, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F***, alone teaches you a meaningful lesson. It's okay to not give too much crap about certain things during this generation-defining stage. Manson blows away the key to success, his positivity mantra in this book. He shows you how mollycoddling and taking everything too seriously spoils your life. There is nothing wrong with not having mighty ambitions during your 20s. Everyone cannot be extraordinary, and there is no shame in accepting your ordinariness. We are humans, and all humans have certain limitations. It's not your fault that you are unable to become the next Newton, Bill Gates, or Steve Jobs. Instead of wasting energy and time on the things that can't be, figure out the things that matter the most to live a contented and balanced life. Number 9. Wild. From Lost to Found on the Pacific Crest Trail by Cheryl Strayed. She is an established author with several books under her name, but 4 of them hit the best-selling slot. Wild is one of them. She also hosts 2 popular podcasts, Sugar Calling and Dear Sugars. The first half of the title is quite synonymous with how we feel in our 20s. The decade is called the transitional decade for a reason. It's like you are in the wild with little to no idea how to find your way back to civilization. The existential crisis becomes harsher when you experience the loss of something dear, be it a job, a friend, a relative, or a possession. Cheryl Strayed went through the loss of her mother and marriage in her 20s. The book is an autobiography in which she shares how she dealt with the loss and rebuilt her life from scratch. Despite having zero knowledge and training in mountaineering, she hiked thousands of miles long Pacific Crest Trail. Very few people possess the courage to dive headfirst into something entirely new to change their life. Read this memoir to learn how a 20-something person can discover something meaningful and life-transforming if he welcomes change. Number 8. The Book of Moods by Lauren Martin. She is the writer and architect of a popular blog, Words of Women. It's a motivational blog that has inspired the lives of thousands of people. The Book of Moods is her only book and has gained a lot of praise. Emotions are more or less the same. The difference lies in the way of processing them. People in their 20s cope with negative emotions differently than those in their 40s. Feelings of anxiety, inferiority, and testiness are common, says Lauren Martin. She felt them too, despite having a stable relationship and job. In this memoir, she tells readers how to get a handle on these moods. You have to figure out the triggers that put you in irritable moods. One of the things I liked about this book is that Lauren has included thoughts of American celebrities like Bobby Brown, Anna Robert, Mariska Hargitay, and Brie Larson alongside her experiences. So it's pretty normal to have such emotions. Accept them. You will acquire the ability to manage them effectively with age. Number 7. The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. And who doesn't know about Paulo Coelho? He is a Brazilian author who has authored more than 200 books, many of which are international bestsellers. but unlikely has reached such recognition and fame as The Alchemist received. The Alchemist has become a masterpiece of modern fiction. It's a mixture of many genres including fiction, spirituality, classics, fantasy, novel, and philosophy. The book is about affirmations. When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. It's full of such powerful and motivational nuggets. It's a story of a shepherd boy, Santiago, who travels across the world in search of worldly treasures, but he receives something more valuable through his journey. Following your heart and dreams is invaluable to leading a content life. If you wish for something earnestly, you will find paths and opportunities to achieve it. The book isn't talking about wishful thinking. It's asking you to listen to your heart. There's no compass better than the heart. Number 6. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. He was born to a poor farmer family in Missouri, who knew he would grow to be the author of an international bestseller and develop courses on self-improvement, corporate training, and interpersonal skills. He also wrote a famous biography of Abraham Lincoln, titled Lincoln the Unknown. The most meaningful relationships and friendships are formed in your 20s. Well, most of them. There's no harm in tying the knot in your 30s or 40s or whenever you feel ready. The book is like a toolkit that shows you practical ways to win and influence people through your personality and communication skills. I know some of us are not gifted with charming personalities or top-notch persuasion skills. So what now? We just let go of the idea of relationships and comrades. Of course not. Miss Dale has come up with rock-solid pieces of advice and ways to make people like you. You will learn the art of winning and influencing people without arousing resentment. Number 5. The Defining Decade by Meg J. She is a PhD in clinical psychology and gender studies. She privately practices as a psychologist in Virginia. Her TED Talk of 2013, Why 30 is Not the New 20, has earned over 2 million views. The title is self-explanatory. The decade between 20 and 30 is the defining decade because it shapes your life. It sets the tone for your life's pivotal ambitions, including job, relationship, wealth, etc. She challenges the prevalent culture of 30 is the new 20 and calls it a hype that has undermined the importance of the 20s. These years are full of bad decisions, mistakes, and career mishaps. Well, nobody denies that. But the lessons you learn from these experiences in these 10 years shape your official and family persona and self-identity. Number 4. Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor D. Frankl. He was a Jewish who remained in a concentration camp in Nazi Germany. He was a Holocaust survivor who turned into a neurologist and a psychiatrist. Viktor Emil Frankl was also the founder of logotherapy. It's a scientifically based psychotherapy. The author lived through the atrocities that occurred in concentration camps under the Nazi regime. Those haunting experiences changed his perspective on life. Amidst death, fear, depression, sadness, hopelessness, and everything dark and pessimistic, he tried to find meaning in his life. That became the building block of his logotherapy. You can find a meaningful solution to human misery and suffering by adopting a healthy coping mechanism and learning ways to channelize energy in productive work. Yeah, I know it's all pretty heavy stuff, but if you read such optimistic material in your 20s when everything seems chaotic and overwhelming, you get a perspective and clarity about how to keep moving. So don't miss this golden opportunity. Number 3. All About Love by Bell Hooks. She was born Gloria Jane Watkins, but got famous with her pen name Bell Hooks. She was an Afro-American author. Her writings focused on ethnic groups. She has published numerous books and articles on race, class, gender, and feminism. Most of our 20s is spent in search of love and loving others. Whether it's a romantic relationship, platonic friendship, or ties with the family, the feeling of love is a cornerstone in one's life. Unfortunately, it doesn't get as much importance as other human experiences. Bell examines relationships from various angles. She offers a radical approach to self-love that is not narcissistic and can bring a balance between your personal and professional life. She explains why old age notions of giving and receiving love fail us during the most crucial phase of our life. You should definitely read it if you want to learn how love can overcome the shame of self and heals wounds. Number 2. Quiet by Susan Cain. She is an American author who prefers reading a good book over socializing. She gave the reading world a masterpiece named Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. It has remained on the bestseller list of the New York Times for 7 years straight. Susan challenges the popular notion that extroverts are the only game changers. the confident, bold, and spirit of every festivity. Yes, these kinds of people. We all look up to such people, don't we? She points out that extroverts are overvalued, while introverts are undervalued. Seuss, Rosa Parks, Steve Wozniak, and Frederick Chopin. All of them were introverts, but they created something pivotal and remarkable. That's why we remember them to this day. Introverts make up almost 40 to 50% of the world's population. If you are one of the quiet ones who like to work from behind the curtain, then you shouldn't belittle yourself. The book teaches you to avoid selling yourself short and learn to value your identity. Number 1. Thinking, Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. And here comes the final author of the day. He is Hebrew, an Israeli-American psychologist. He was also a Nobel winner in 2002 in economic sciences for his work on behavioral finance and hedonic psychology. Of all the books, I enjoyed this one the most. It gives you a fascinating tour of a human's mind and thought process. It's like two minds are working side by side in our brains in every situation. Mind 1 is fast. It comes with a prompt response, which is 99.9% emotional. Mind 2 is slow and patient. It deliberates over the situation and tells us a logical response. The book revolves around this constant competition between thinking fast and thinking slow, and which type of thinking has more benefits. Kahneman explains when is the right time to trust your instincts and when to listen to logic. Your 20s can be tricky and overwhelming, because stepping foot into adulthood is not easy. I hope these 10 books will help you navigate this unpredictable world of being an adult without losing what makes you you. So, happy reading and have a happier 20s. Video helps you find the next book you are going to read, then like and share this video. Let me know in comment section on what type of books I should cover in my next video. Also, if you read one of the book mentioned in this video, share your review or thoughts with us. Subscribe this channel for more such awesome videos. Thanks for watching.